Hello everyone. Today I am going to deal with the dynamics of relationship in supply chain. Starting with, first we should know the differentiation between the different types of commercial relationships in supply chain, where internal and external relationship, the relationship spectrum, which includes the 9 different types of relationship which a commercial negotiation can have, then the relationship life cycle. Starting with, first we should understand what is SRM, supply suppliers relationship management. Suppliers relationship management as an SRM is one of the key skills required to successfully control an organization's spend. When relationship development and subsequent management is done well, it should result in added value, improved supply chain performance, and risk mitigation. Suppliers relationship management originated in the Japanese automotive industry in companies such as Nissan, Toyota, Honda. Suppliers relationship management is key in industries where a large portion of finished products or service is provided by external suppliers. Now, differentiate between different types of commercial relationships in supply chain. The procurement and supply department will have many different types of commercial relationships, making it beneficial to be able to classify these relationships and review their current status. A buyer needs to consider what the optimum type of relationship might be for each part of supply chain and put strategies in place to achieve this. First, coming on to internal and external relationship. Internal suppliers. The use of internal suppliers is often referred to as in-house, and that is the internal suppliers is an in-house suppliers. The choice to use the an internal suppliers is based on the corporate decisions linked to make or buy decision. Procurement has a key role to play in supporting the business to make this decision. To help your understanding of the internal suppliers, we will look at the brief examples. The advantage of the internal suppliers. There can be a number of advantages. For some of it are improved quality control, greater control on the continuity of the supply through the internal suppliers, relationship between the customer and the suppliers likely to be stable, potential lower cost, intellectual property rights will be protected from passing to the competitors. Disadvantages of having the internal suppliers. Unless the price is benchmarked against the external suppliers offering, then there is no guarantee that the internal suppliers are providing you the value for money. As no money is changing the hand, the internal suppliers may be less motivated. As well, the internal suppliers will have both fixed and variable costs. Again, in order to ensure the product and services provided by the internal suppliers are up to the standard that could be sourced from the external suppliers too. These all can be the disadvantages of an internal suppliers. Coming on to external suppliers. Selecting, having a contract with and managing an external suppliers are the three main reasons. That is selecting, having a contract with and managing are the three main reasons for the existence of the external suppliers in the procurement and supply department. When an external supplier is selected, particularly for the complex contract, the decision is made based on these several factors. These factors can include buy, but may not be limited to purchase price, delivery lead time, quality of the product or service, and the previous experience of the suppliers. Advantages and disadvantages of external suppliers are there too. Coming on to advantages, they are expert in their fields. Then external suppliers always provide you cost effective, that is economies of scale. External suppliers frees up the internal resources to be used for other sources. Whereas external suppliers may be more flexible. External suppliers are useful for the small volume as and when required. Disadvantages: depending on the nature of the product or services, there will be degree of dependency on those external suppliers. Potential damage to the buyer's reputation also if the supplies are not up to the standard of quality. Cost and risk of transportations are there with the external suppliers. Risk of relationship issues with the external suppliers may arise during the contract implementation. The relationship spectrum. The first step is actively managing the supplier's relationship is to classify the relationships that are currently in place. This enables the procurement team to ascertain where efforts need to be focused in order to develop the supplier's relationship that will both beneficial and drive the value for the business for both the parties, the buyer and the suppliers. As the relationship spectrum has the 9 different types of relationship which will be dealt in the other simultaneous presentations. When reviewing whether or not to use the external suppliers, an organization needs to fully evaluate the risk of doing so. So the work of the procurement department undertakes to review the suppliers during the selection process, which aims to protecting the organization from the various types of risks, as well as in order to protect the organization from the use of child labors and other such factors.